And we are live. So, welcome to episode 110 of An American Werewolf in New Jersey. I am the American Werewolf. I guess things are running a little late tonight. My guests are running behind. I'm supposed to be meeting up tonight with the Gutting the Sacred Cow podcast. But things happen, and I'm just waiting for them to show up. But I don't want to keep people in the stream waiting. So here I am. Tonight's topic was a continuation of a conversation that I began with the Cinema Cities podcast about the effects of franchises in movie making in Hollywood today, and generally, their impact on, what it means for us. For me, there have been a handful of times that I've been to the cinema this year. I'm at the point where I'm starting to pull away a little bit. I went to see The Northman, which was really good, and I was really pleased that my local multiplex was playing it. There have been other occasions where there have been movies that I wanted to see, but they were smaller, more independent type movies, and so they weren't playing at my local multiplex. And so when I dig them up on the Fandango app or whatever, I find that they're 40 or 50 miles away in Philadelphia, which is a long way to go just to see a movie. Consistently, I find that a lot of the multiplexes are dominated upon release by these sort of franchise blockbusters. And so you could have a movie that's showing 11 times or 12 times in a single day. But, if I want to see something smaller, it's much more difficult to have access to. I was talking yesterday in my stream with Spider Dabrowski, and he was telling me that, it's difficult to get those types of smaller movies made. Maybe they go to streaming services, but streaming services are saturated with so much content that it's difficult to know what to pick out anymore. So where does that leave, the average moviegoer? And again, to be clear, I don't necessarily have anything wrong with franchises. I just don't want any one thing necessarily dominating the cinema houses. I mean, unless they're just great movies, which a lot of these franchises are not, because as you continue to go on and on and on with these storylines, they naturally become more diluted. And it just sort of seems to become a content for content's sake kind of situation. Where does that leave us? For me, it leaves me with a position where I'm probably going to be saving a lot of money this summer. Marvel Studios just probably haven't caught a Marvel movie end game. Really. Yeah, so I mean, there's let's see what else. There's the new Thor coming out. Haven't really. I'm 100% positive that I won't be catching that. The Ms. Marvel coming out this year for Disney Plus. Not going to catch that either. I was severely disappointed by several of the other Disney series that I saw this year, whether it was, or in the previous year, whether it was Hawkeye or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, for reasons that we've discussed before. So based on that experience, and from what I've seen from other content creators that, are sort of in aligned with, where I'm at with things, I don't really see any reason to continue to go down that path. So I'm going to save some money. That brings me to Star Wars. I'm going to give a last gasp at the Obi-Wan Kenobi series because I genuinely want Obi-Wan Kenobi to do well. I'm a fan of Ewan McGregor, and obviously I'm a fan of Star Wars and the Obi-Wan character. I'm not holding out a lot of hope. I think nowadays what you also get, Marvel and Star Wars are guilty of this, is a lot of bait and switch. You get a bait and switch sort of situation where the main character sort of takes the back seat, usually in this formula to a female character who really doesn't have any story arc because of various rules and, opinions of the day as to how things are going to be written. Hold on a second. We've got a couple of comments here. Oversaturation from Eric. Eric is in the house. Oversaturation with franchises. It makes me happy to sit at home and find some unknown or unheard of movies on Tubi. Yeah. Yesterday, Spider Dabrowski with a Tubi original film. I'm really excited for Spider to know that people that are writing smaller, bright colors type things are still getting their films made. And that we can have access to them. It was obvious from talking to Spider that, he's not saddled with careerism. He's still extremely enthusiastic and wanting to get his best work out there. And hopefully he'll be, continuing to move in that direction, either with Tubi or with larger studios and get those types of movies made. He's been screenwriting for 10 years. So he has a huge back catalog of movies that probably deserve to be looked at. I would say definitely deserve to be looked at. And hopefully more than a few of them will get made. And maybe Spider will come back on the show sometime soon. Eric says, let me guess, that's a no to She-Hulk attorney at law. Yeah, probably so. It's a funny thing because I like the She-Hulk character. I grew up watching reading She-Hulk throughout the various incarnations, whether she made it through Fantastic Four or Avengers or in Hulk comics or, wherever she happened to appear. I mean, she was definitely one of the first female characters in comics, in Marvel that was really assertive. A cool character. It's a little derivative, okay, but still, I mean, She-Hulk's a cool character. What I've seen from the trailer, yeah, I'm not jumping at it. So I didn't like the formula and what I was seeing in the trailer. I think the CGI looks kind of bad, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm not going to waste any time with that sort of thing. Hold on a second. Hey, man.
What's going on?
How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How about yourself? Sorry for the delay here. New computer, and I had to install Chrome and all that shit. So here.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So I've got the Gutting the Sacred Cow podcast out here representing today. Where are you at in the U.S. right now?
I am in Secaucus, New Jersey. I'm from Princeton. I'm now up in Northeast Jersey, 5-10 minutes outside of the city.
Okay, I'm in Atlantic County, so not all that far away. Just a little bit south down here in the Pine Barrens. You're one of the people who would actually know what that means. And it's full negative implications.
I used to drive through there to go to the LBI. I took 539 and cut through instead of going the fucking Parkway. That was always a fool's errand. So I would cut through there quite often.
Well, for us to go down here, and I used to live out there for several years in some of the adjoining towns of Atlantic City, like around Ventnor. So I lived out there for about 7 years, and that's nice out there. That's nice there. And here, you're kind of counting pine cones, but it's quiet. It's a little too quiet. But I still prefer it. I wouldn't want to be up north. I'm not a North Jersey fan. So
Oh, are you?
I'm not a fan
you,
of the city, that kind of thing. Yeah.
are you averse to having fun and good food?
No, I'm averse to North Jersey. So
Mhm.
fun and good food I can find. I can drive 20 minutes, that kind of thing. But
Mhm.
if I had a choice between being down south, I wouldn't necessarily be here. I'd probably be at the shore. But I'd still pick the south. But that's always the battle in North Jersey, North versus South. So
Yeah, I would never
I
go
see
in
I
South
see no
Jersey.
yeah, I see no reason why it should change for this particular episode.
Very true.
So, tell us about gutting the sacred cow. What's the show about? Where they can find you, that sort of thing.
Easy enough. Gutting the Sacred Cow is the best movie podcast that you've not heard of. Why? Because we're doing something that nobody else is doing, and that is inviting guests, fellow stand-up comics or podcasters to come on and pick a film that they find overrated or hate, and trying to convince us to see their argument. Now, here's where the twist is: the film must meet one of these criteria: widely beloved, critically acclaimed, financial success. So you can't come on and go, "Huh, Friday the 13th, Part 6? That's a real
Yeah.
piece of shit." Yeah, we know that. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. So we're giving a platform to those people who have unpopular opinions and seeing if they can, do the impossible. Sometimes it's a cakewalk. Sometimes it's like, I'm not going to die in the hill. I'm not, it's the film's fine, whatever. And sometimes we're like, nope, you're a fucking asshole. This film is fantastic, and you're just a douche. Nope. And destroy them, then we rip them apart. That's what we do.
I have a sub thread for this show, and I haven't exercised it in a while. It's basically that I call it something shitty this way comes, where I pick an overrated movie or something that I consider overrated. But you're nicer than I am, because I'm not entertaining anybody with trying to defend like Bram Stoker's Dracula. Like, I'm not listening to that bullshit. It's just, it sucks. And I mean, every once in a while you can have the conversation and that sort of thing, but yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know if I would enter upon it in a debate. So that's cool. That's cool. What was now? So, example. What was the last episode that you? Was it the Batman?
The Batman we just taped the other night. That's going to air in 2 weeks. This week we have American Pie. Next week is the first Mission Impossible film.
Oh, okay.
Other previous episodes include Borat, Return of the Jedi, Back to the Future. Yes, people hate those films or find them overrated. Do we agree? Do we disagree? GuttingTheSacredCow.com is where you find those answers. YouTube, on any podcast platform known to man and woman. And make sure, for the love of Christ, when you do give us a listen, you leave us a 5-star rating and 2 or 3 sentence review. It means the world to us, and I love showcasing my favorite reviews that are posted. The ones that are the funniest ones, or most original, or I snapshot them and then I throw them on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay, all right. So you've got a platform; it's available everywhere with an original format. How long have you guys been at it? Because I just started doing this, I guess, in January of last year. So. I'm here in my second year now, but how long have you guys been?
2.5 years. We started October, I guess, of 20, right before the pandemic.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like the October before the pandemic hit. So 2.5 years. So yeah, that's right. October of 20.
Okay.
Right? No, 19, I guess. 19. I take that back.
Okay. All right. So Eric is here, and he says, hey, he digs that show. So maybe you'll check it out sometime. And yeah.
Where is Eric? Put him on the goddamn phone. Let's go. Put him in the chat. I can't see any chat here. Oh, there you go. I got
you. Yeah, you got to. Okay, there you go. Okay, so is it live stream that you do, or is it pre-recorded and then uploaded later?
No, we've done live stream a couple of times, but just no one gave a shit when it was airing live. All of our fans have checked it out after we upload them. So yes, but yeah, we'll do it again. It's just, I don't know. All it comes to me doing is just pressing a single button, going, "Hey, everybody!" before and promoting it as well. So that's what it's going to come down to. Is just announcing it ahead of time and having a little bit of build up, and then doing that.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Very cool. So let's see. Around 2010, I ended up leaving the U.S. I got a gig overseas.
Doing what?
I was an international school teacher.
All right.
So I was over there, various places around Asia, South Asia, some places around Western Europe, that kind of thing. I didn't get back until August of 2020.
Okay.
And so there I come here, and we're in the middle of the lockdown, and there is no cinema, there are no theaters, streaming services are.
So wait, you're burying the lead. How the hell did you get back out of the lockdown coming from a foreign nation?
It was very complicated. I had to go through about 4 different flight cancellations because the government where I was at the time had shut down international air, incoming and outgoing. Until finally I was able to get a flight. I also had a dog with me, so that made things very complicated. The State Department flights were, you could have gotten one out, but it was 1 bag only, and I was leaving the country that year anyway, the same year that the pandemic hit. So I would have had to have left fucking everything over there, which I wasn't willing to do, so I waited it out a while.
Gotcha.
So I get back in August of 2020, and over those 10 years, if I'm watching movies wherever I'm at, and, I was telling the other day, like I was in Indonesia, and I'm like watching the fucking Evil Dead remake or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's cool because it's like, okay, it's a little reminder of home. All right, I'm going to watch an American movie, or, the Fast and the Furious, or, the MC, whatever the MCU movie was or whatever, because those were the only movies that were making it that far east.
Right.
Smaller movies, that sort of things, it wasn't happening. So I didn't notice, I guess, I wasn't here for any of the transitions that were happening where sort of franchises were becoming everything.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be, and I'm assuming you're not 21 or anything like that. It used to be that B movies, or what you would consider effects movies, were kind of secondary kinds of things. And so you would have the war movies, or you would have the westerns, or you would have the dramas, or you would have action thrillers and things like that too. But you would have all of these other things to sort of balance it out. And now.
Right.
I've gotten to the point where, I think this happened over Christmas. Like I wanted to see, because I'm, fucking old. I'm like over 50 now. And I wanted to see the A24, like Macbeth or whatever.
Sure.
I had to go all the way. It wasn't available down here. You had to go all the way to Philadelphia.
Another reason why South Jersey's terrible.
Yeah, I'd still rather take the 50-mile ride. That's all right. No sale, man. No sale.
That is dedication to go to see a film. Is have to go trek into godforsaken Philadelphia.
I'll be honest. Back in the day, I used to take the trek up into Midtown for particular movies. They just weren't playing around here, but they were playing only in Midtown, like New York, LA.
The IFC theater and the Angelica downtown. I bet you're referring to.
No, I mean, these were just any old theaters that were in Midtown or something like that. And I would literally take the day off and, take the shuttle bus up there, and it would let you ride out on 42nd Street, and you would walk 2 blocks, see the theater, see the movie, and then come back down.
Right.
But now, I mean, there's nothing like. The reason I had to go 50 miles was because the local multiplex was showing the same movie 11 or 15 times in one day.
Mm-hmm.
And even that's not necessarily so bad, but because, I mean, these movies are making money. And nothing against making money, it's capitalism. But the stories are just shit most of the time. Or they just, again and again, and it just becomes further and further diluted. And so I notice some channels are talking about it, some channels aren't, some channels are happy about it. And, hey, can't wait for the next whatever. Mm-hmm. So I've started to invite other content creators on here to see what they think about it and, where things are going. Is the wave going to break, or is it just going to tsunami through everything? I mean, is this just the future of cinema? What's your take? And go from there. I don't know.
Well, if you're a creator, that is the goal, to become a franchise, because that means you can get mailbox money and never have to worry about shit again. I think it is. I really do. I think that a lot of these, especially these action films, that's the goal, is to make 4 or 5 of these fucking things and have them take off. I mean, now that Marvel's being taken seriously, what are we at now? 22? I don't even know. 22 Marvel
22
films.
and 22 billion since 2008. That's the number 1 franchise in history. The number 2 franchise,
Mission Impossible. No, Fast and the Furious.
No, it's Star Wars.
Oh God, how did I forget that? Yeah,
and they still haven't broken 11 million, but you've got to adjust some of that for pricing at the time.
Right.
But since 2008, when they hit with that Iron Man movie, they've gone $22 billion.
Completely believe it. And then listen, and if it wasn't for a little film called Blade, we wouldn't be where we are with Marvel. Because if Blade wasn't made, there would be no X-Men. If there was no X-Men being made, we wouldn't have had
Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that first Raimi movie is that the X-Men movie is the first, Singer's movie is the first Marvel movie.
Blade.
It was a gory fucking vampire movie where people were getting their throats bitten out. Steven Dorff was just drinking you dry right in the middle of a party.
And with a banging ass soundtrack in the process. Now that's a franchise that started off, I mean, I loved when I first saw it. I watched it again not long ago. Boy, that first one, that last half of the first film drags. Part 2's good. Part 3 has always been, will always be an egregious piece of shit.
Yeah.
Blade Trinity dog shit.
It's about a 100-minute music video.
Right. Or the music sucks, which makes things even worse.
My understanding was that it was one of those production hell kind of things.
Yeah.
Where Wesley is like fucking trying to bite, Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel's throats out, and nobody's talking to anybody, and it showed. And plus he's Blade is actually in the movie for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It sort of was about everybody else. Yeah. Yeah, and the Dracula character was weak, which a lot of times he is. But yeah, that was the beginning of this Marvel kickoff, which, but with the MCU now at $22 billion, maybe you're right, because I've noticed increasingly that the corporations are taking over. I think Mark Ralston, he was in an interview last week on another channel I was watching, and he played Drake in Aliens, and he was like that guy that was like beating up Andy Dufresne in The Shawshank, and he's like, these studio houses are being taken over by the corporations, and the corporations' bottom line is money. And so the model that they're following right now is just maximizing output.
I got news for you. The studio heads have always been and will always be about money. So don't let that be a recency bias thing where it's like, it's always been about money. It's just hyper-focused now, whereas it has to be almost a mega blockbuster. Whereas someone could say, oh, you know what? I made 2 or 3 times ROI. I'm going to call that a win, which it is a win. And even if things break even at the box office, they'll make more because of DVDs. What the fuck am I saying? Now digital, that shit. But yeah,
your retro showing.
As long as you didn't lose money, you got the shot to make another movie. But now it's pretty much all in or all out. Like no one's doing, except like A24, the aforementioned. Like, who's doing indie films like that? Danny Boyle still does some stuff. He also does some mainstream stuff. But
you got some Alex Garland, IFC. You got a couple channels that are like, I just saw A24's After Yang.
I didn't see that.
It's a good fucking movie. It's not an action movie. It's like a sci-fi drama. But it's a nice little break from the CGI. I liked it. It was on Showtime. But these things are almost going directly to the streaming services now, and that's where you kind of have to go now if you want to see anything smaller, or for me, 50 miles down the expressway.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me. I was in the theater when Tenet came out, and that came out right in Jersey when they lifted the ban on movie theaters. That was Labor Day weekend of fucking, what was that, 2020?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll go see. I love seeing stuff in the theater, But there's a lot of shit where I'm like, I can completely wait to see that at home.
Yeah.
Perfect case in point, what comes out next week? Fucking Top Gun 2. You bet your ass I'll be there.
Yeah.
You bet your ass I'll be at Thor. You'll bet your ass. I don't know what else is coming out this summer. This summer is going to be a shit show for film.
Yes.
There is nothing coming out that is getting my dick hard at all. Doctor Strange 2 is fine. I thought it was fine. It was good. I wasn't going, oh my God, Gaga. I get why people liked it. I just didn't hit me as hard. I liked it. But I mean, besides Thor, besides Top Gun 2, what else is getting your dick hard? I ask you.
Thor is like fucking limp noodle for me. Because I just, in advance, I have no interest in seeing it. Because I'm seeing that usually in most of these stories, the main character is becoming like the brunt of a joke in his own movie. So that's not doing anything for me. The Northman. I thought Eggers' fucking movie was top notch. I didn't like The Lighthouse so much, huh?
It bombed viciously, but
nobody got it.
Yeah, the acclaim, people loved it who did see it.
Yeah, that was a seriously savage, hardcore movie. It was like Hamlet and Conan the Barbarian at the same time, like Schwarzenegger's Conan.
Not Jason Momoa's.
No, not Jason Momoa's. That fucking swashbuckling and laughing and doing all
I didn't
shit.
see it again. I don't see Reboot. My thing, and I have a lot of major rules. But one is I don't do reboots. I don't, unless the film that they're rebooting, the original, is a piece of shit. Now, what's the best reboot? There's only one. There are actually two answers, I think.
Wait, are we talking about reboots or remakes?
Well, either or, really, I would say are the same thing.
Okay.
The best reboot is Dredd, hands down. You know why they needed it? Because the Judge Dredd was a piece of shit.
Yeah, it was.
The Stallone version sucked. The Star Trek, the first one, was very good. But other than that, I don't do reboots. For example, I laugh my balls off. People are like, well, you love RoboCop, you love Total Recall, you love Point Break. You're going to see them? I go, you can go fuck your mother. You think I'm going to go see those? Dude, the originals are perfect. Perfect. Why do I need to go see some guy and then have the balls to make those reboots, all of them PG-13? No. That doesn't work for everybody. And thank God people have really eschewed these like, oh, let's just capitalize on nostalgia from the 80s and 90s of action guys like our age and go, let's try it again. No, we don't need to. They already did it right the first time. Go reboot a piece of shit. Go reboot Jaws 4. That needs rebooting.
Okay, so what's the difference between that and like endless sequels?
At least the sequels continue on the main storyline. The other one's like, well, I have my own vision of this film.
For me, they're just fucking watered down. I mean,
that's exactly right.
They become absurdist after a while. Anything usually past 2, I could look at Terminator. Like you had two fucking perfect movies. The third one,
garbage. They're all garbage. No. Nah. But there are films. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you that 7 times out of 10 the sequels are trash. Now I'm going to give you a franchise tying into the theme of this episode. You want to know a franchise where they turn that shit around and the sequels are better than the originals? Mission Impossible. The last 3 Mission Impossible films demolish the first 3, and it ain't even close.
I never got past the second one because I don't like John Woo movies.
I get it. I like to. I get why people hate it. Fine.
I like the first one. It was okay.
Listen to next week's episode because Dan Bova explains why Mission Impossible is a piece of shit, according to him. So you'll hear why. 3, Philip Seymour Hoffman is a fantastic villain, but the story was just meh. 4 is where shit starts to go uphill and uphill fast. 5 is amazing. And Fallout, the 6th one, is bonkers. I was more mad that Tom Cruise, the last, year and a half, has kept delaying 7, the release of 7. It's been in the can for like a year and a half. So is Top Gun Maverick. It was supposed to be Maverick comes out Memorial Day weekend, and then fucking Mission Impossible 7 comes out middle of August. I'm like, listen, Tom Cruise is the best action hero that this country has seen in the last 25 years. I will not accept any other arguments otherwise. So to take away a Tom Cruise action film summer from me, twice he's done this.
Wasn't that supposed to come out last summer?
Yes. So was Top Gun.
Last summer.
Yeah. And it's been delayed. And now they pushed Mission Impossible until next July or August.
What was the one where he went to North Korea? Wasn't there one? And he was like in a pool somewhere that kept spinning around. I saw parts of it. I was in a hotel somewhere and But I never caught on. I never caught on to those.
In a pool.
I heard the one with Cavill was good. There was one with Henry Cavill. He was in it.
That's Fallout. That's Fallout.
That's Fallout.
Okay. Oh yeah. Another Tom Cruise show. Yeah, was that Ghost Protocol where they go in the pool. He has to hold his breath underwater.
Yeah. That was a good action scene.
So Fallout has about 4 of those scenes in that film. That's how good Fallout is, and the story's amazing. I love it.
Okay, so by that extension, so you've got a franchise where it's consistently getting better. We're coming to a part 6, and I've heard the same thing from many people. So it's not some out of the fucking woods,
Well, 7 and 8, actually 7 and 8. 7 and 8 are coming out. 7's out next year, 8's out the following year.
So are there any other franchises that are holding up for you? By that, I mean specifically improving.
So I would also have said the Nolan Batman film. Obviously, Batman Begins is fantastic. The Dark Knight is fucking damn near perfect. Yeah. Dark Knight Rises drops a few levels. Yeah. I can't. The Avengers films, those 4. The first one was okay. The second one was not good. 3 and 4 were fucking gangbusters. John Alvarez, what about Bond? Excellent question. The problem with Bond has been hit or miss. Every other, and I'm going to talk about Craig specifically. The first few Craig films, Casino Royale, amazing. Quantum of Solace, dog shit. No. Skyfall, amazing. Yeah. Spectre, dog shit. No Time to Die, excellent. So it's Bond, but he's always done that though. Brosnan, GoldenEye, great. Tomorrow Never Dies, pretty good. Those last 2 were fucking terrible. Connery had
Another Day and all that shit.
Yeah. Oh God. And The World Is Not Enough, trash. Roger Moore, I think he maybe had 1 or 2 good ones. I'm a Connery guy.
So wait, hold on. Let me slow you down here for a second because you're.
That's the way I am, baby. You should know that by now.
Yeah, the whole 20 minutes. Okay, so let's back up about 2 minutes. We were getting into Avengers. For me, I enjoyed those movies. Ultron was okay. I think the high watermark, though, for that entire franchise was Infinity War. Sure. I wasn't a fan of Endgame. I mean, there was nobody there was no way you walked into that movie not knowing that they weren't all coming back. So for me, that was the high watermark, and then everything has kind of been in a decline since.
But that's why it was so good, because you knew they were coming back. But even the way when they brought them back, I was all in. I loved it. And in fact, we actually, one of our guests did Endgame on our podcast. So hear why he thinks it stinks on our.
Well, I mean, they gave me they killed off the characters I cared about. They left me with a lot of characters I didn't care about. I think the whole franchise has been at a tailspin since then because it's been a rudderless ship. Because Cap's gone, Robert Downey Jr.'s gone, Scarlett Johansson is gone, and it's just been sort of adrift ever since then. Bond has always been up and down. I mean, because that's the longest running franchise. That was in the top 10. And I think they've made somewhere upwards of around $7 billion. But I mean, you're looking at 60 years worth of films.
1961 was the first one.
Yeah, there are a lot of fucking fat ones in there, man. I mean, from Connery, even Roger Moore had a couple of them that were okay.
I was most.
I had. I like The Spy Who Loved Me.
Those are so fucking. I rewatched them not long ago.
They're campy. They're campy. I don't like campy movies.
Cheeky, but thanks. Yeah. That's why Connery and fucking Craig are the best. I forgot.
I like Timothy Dalton.
See, I haven't watched his in so long, so I'm due for a rewatch to give a fair opinion. I remember thinking they were okay. They were fine. I mean, GoldenEye was good, but the other Brosnans, as we'd said, were shit. But I mean, it's Connery and Craig, and it ain't even close after that.
Yeah, I think that. As they went on, it became more apparent from other action movies, what was possible to do. Mm-hmm. And then I think ultimately culminating with Daniel Craig, who was just a fucking hitman.
Right.
I mean, they just kind of sent him in there to kill you.
Right.
That sort of thing. Now, MGM are they coming back with Bond? MGM's been bought by Amazon, my understanding, to have Bezos get his hands on Bond. So how do you see the next one panning out? Who are you rooting for? Who are you looking for? Who's your favorite?
Who am I rooting for? Someone brought this up. Who wouldn't be bad? I mean, everyone throws around Idris Elba. All right, maybe. It's tough to say. I think Henry Cavill would be a great Bond.
Henry Cavill would be good. I've heard Tom Hardy.
No, no,
I've
I
heard
refuse to do Tom Hardy. I'm done. Bane, no. Venom, no. I don't need to hear him mumble his way through it.
Bane was okay. Bane was okay. It was just a bad story. It was just a bad
That's
story.
true.
It was impossible to follow The Dark Knight.
And
It's
the fucking
impossible
and
to
his
follow
voice
The
too,
Dark
the voice thing.
Yeah, the modulator.
Nope, not a fan.
But,
and Venom is trash. I no thank you.
Yeah, I don't
Tom
like
Hardy.
those either. They turned them into comedies. But what was the other one? Hiddleston was another one I heard.
Loki,
and then
no.
yeah, and then someone said Carl Urban. I have a friend of mine who's rooting for Carl
Dredd.
Urban.
All right, listen, he's great in The
that would
Boys.
work.
He's great in Dredd. I could give that a whirl. Why not? As long as it's not Timothy Chalamet. Let's have some
Who's
open.
that?
That's that wafy dude from Dune. And
Oh no! Come on, the main guy, the Leto Paul Atreides.
yeah,
Not that fucking guy.
the guy who would who would probably have his back snap in two if he took a shower past like the halfway pressure point in it. I don't know.
Yeah, not that guy.
I was making a joke, but yeah. So my answer, I'll say, I'll go with Cavill because listen, he proved he can do shit with Superman. He fought again. Watch Fallout. He can handle the action in that.
I assume this is a joke. It says Dalton was reset as Bond, and then Daniel Radcliffe as Bond, and then
Stop it.
LOL. Yeah, that's not funny.
Well, shit,
So,
they had
you
they had Robert Pattinson play Bruce Wayne in Batman fucking not even 3 months ago.
I didn't mind it. I tried to watch it a second time. It didn't hold up quite as well, but I was pleasantly surprised. It was better than I thought it was going to be, and it wasn't a bad story. I like to see John Turturro. He was really good in that as Carmine Falcone, and I really liked Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell was amazing. He was great.
Yeah.
He
stole all the scenes.
He did, but Turturro, I was not, because my problem is this with Turturro, and I love Turturro. Go watch a film called 1991 called Brain Donors. It is a Night at the Opera knockoff, but I think it's better. It's funny as fuck. He's just that goofy guy. Transformers as the agent, perfect. But in this, he's a bad guy, a tough guy. I was like, He
didn't strike me as tough. I just thought he was oily. And I saw it as oily, and then I said, well, that works. If he had been muscle, then I would have said, well, that doesn't fucking work. But just oily with people around him, as muscle, I'm like, yeah, that works. And it works for the time.
Yeah.
It works for the time where you have these skinny, sort of smarmy, whatevers. And what's his name? And No Time to Die was like that. Remy Malik.
He was all right, Malik.
He was like a school shooter. He reminded me of a school shooter.
Yeah, he had a manifesto in his back pocket. That's for sure.
Yeah. He wasn't happy, so nobody else gets to be happy.
Yeah, I was. You'll hear it in the Batman. We do it, and it'll be out in 2 weeks. But I said this before from Jump, and everyone else says. But man, that third act really went off the fucking rails. They should have when they arrested him in the cafe.
Should have ended it.
Done. Over. Done. Forget it. That old flooding bullshit that dragged for another good 20 minutes, maybe even a half hour. My co-host argues that they could have lopped off even more, half hour 45 of that film.
I would have said you could have lopped it. I would have included maybe because the Arkham Asylum. I would have kept that.
Didn't need it.
And then I would have kept it. I would have kept it, and I would have stopped it right there because he loses. Batman essentially loses. I don't know what you needed one more action scene for, and that was a good 30 minutes. That was a good 30 minutes. That was a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, I know.
So,
it was.
Yeah, they needed like real editing. So Matt Reeves for the next one hopefully will not make it so long and fucking tooth.
Agreed.
So you just think that this is the way it's going to go from now on. And so where do we go for smaller movies? Are they going to continue to make them? I mean, well, wait, let's get back to the question a second ago. What any other franchises are holding up for you?
No.
Or are they all just sort of it's like pouring water in your pasta sauce, it's just getting weaker and weaker and weaker.
Yeah, I mean, they keep making Fast and the Furious films. And I'll give you my history on that. The first one we actually did in the podcast. It's all right. The second one sucked. The third one's an abortion. The fourth one's terrible. The fifth one is fucking great. The fifth one when they're in Brazil is a fantastic film. That's The Rock's first appearance in that. But then it goes right back. It nosedives precipitously after that. So for a second, I'm like, because I was like, oh God, I wasn't even bothering with the fifth one. But
I can't believe you watched them. Yeah.
You know what? Because again, people got me back on with the fifth one. Like, dude, the fifth one's legit good. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll give it a shot. And I was like, God damn, it's good.
You got hustled.
Like, right. I did. Well, no, I own the fifth one. I like it that much. And then the sixth one came out. Like, all right, let's go. I'm like, eh. And then I've been just watching on Netflix, and now they're doing fucking like they're filming part
9,
right
isn't it? Oh, is it 10? Didn't they go to space?
In a Nissan Sentra, you bet your
Fuck,
ass.
man. No, man. Just fucking stop it. All right, so what else do we got? We got the new Jurassic Park. I'm going to fucking save a lot of money this year. Yep, exactly. The
last one was so bad. The last one was so... Jurassic World. So 1 is good. I mean, first, I'm going to sound like a snob as always. The book blows... The first book is far superior to the film.
Book, yeah.
Right. And the Lost World book versus the movie is like dunking on a midget. It ain't even close. The Lost World movie stunk. The third one wasn't that great. Then World comes out. Pretty good. I'm like, all right. Then that fifth one was out. And I go, this is dog shit. Now you got them running around the streets of fucking Rome or whatever. Dinosaurs. I go, what is happening? I don't care that they brought back Ellie Sattler and Alan Grant and all that bullshit. I don't give a fuck. They brought back Goldblum. Fucking guy had 2 scenes, although the trailers for Dominion, whatever it was called, teased the shit out of it, like he's going to be in it like a lot. 2 fucking scenes. You saw them both in the trailer. Suck my dick, Jurassic Park. I'm done.
I didn't like World. I just thought it was a soft reboot of the first one.
That's fair. I can see why.
The second one, the one after that, I actually went to the theater to see that. Yeah. And there was about a 3-minute scene in the very beginning where it looked like it was going to be like a hardcore horror movie. I'm like, oh shit, and then it just went right into fucking crapper. I'm not even going to see this third one.
No.
Let's see, what other franchises are out there that are
Downton Abbey 2's out.
Well, fuck, I'm going to that. Fuck. Okay, so Bond's not coming in. What are you thinking about the Rings of Power, the fucking Lord of the Rings? Do you care? Are you a Middle Earther?
Nope, absolutely not.
$250 million. I was a book guy. I used to be an English teacher, so I care about the books, and they're just fucking it up.
Well, I fell asleep watching 2 out of the 3 Hobbit films. The first trilogy, and we actually, here you go, Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship we did on the podcast, so go listen to that one. I thought The Two Towers was boring. I like Return of the King, but have I watched any of those films except for Fellowship because of the podcast in the last 20 years? I have not, and I own them. So what does that tell you?
I watch them. Well, it means you're different than me because I watch them every year. I'm actually reading the books right now again, probably for the first time in 20 years, but I'm enjoying the shit out of it. Okay. But my oldest friend, who actually lives across the street from me now, we went to see King, Return of the King in the theater. And there's a scene where at the end where there's like 3 fade to blacks, and then it keeps coming back. And he's not like me. He's probably more along your line of thinking. And he leaned over and during one of the fade to blacks, and it came back on, and he looked at me and he goes, "There's more." So yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody, but $250 million, 5 seasons. So I mean, that's clearly going to be another franchise. I don't think it's going to do very well because they're just fucking up the canon and introducing characters that have nothing to do with what Tolkien wrote. So, but who knows?
Star Wars did the sequels.
Yeah, that's another thing. Here we go. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Are you a Star Wars fan or?
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but man, you know what? You would have told me. Let's go back in time a little bit. Let's go back to 1998 when they announced Phantom was coming out. I go, holy shit! I can't wait. Phantom comes out. I go, I liked it. The more I watch Phantom, I go, this stinks.
Sucks.
Episode 2 comes out. I see it in the theater, midnight showing. I'm one of the few people who don't think it completely sucks. The first half of episode 2 sucks. The second half, where they get, all the shit happens and they go fight them all in the arena, that's a good shit. I'm talking about the Anakin Padme bullshit, the whiny pussy Jedi tantrums he throws. That sucks. Episode 3 is fucking great. I'll fight anybody. I love Revenge of the Sith. I think Revenge of the Sith
fucking is awful.
You're wrong. Is the 5th best. It goes the original 3, then it goes Rogue. You could even Rogue One, and then it goes Sith, and then you can fight it. Actually, no, you can't fight out because the other ones are pretty much wrong. But then 7 came out, and I said when that whole lull between was at 03, and they said, oh, we're going to do sequels to the original. I go, fucking hell, man! You get me all that Timothy, what's his face, the guy who wrote the Thrawn books and all that shit. The Heir of the Empire stuff. So give me that and give it to me right on a big old spoon. I'll eat that.
They're not going to give it to you. They're not going to give it to you. They're going to give you what you need, not what you want. They know what's better for
and then
you.
JJ comes out with Force Awakens. I'm like, I think I liked it. Watch it again. Then Last Jedi comes out. I go, there was some good stuff in Last Jedi, but there you go. Guilty of not editing, Rian Johnson. 45 minutes of horse shit. The Benicio del Toro storyline, completely superfluous, unnecessary. And then this tells you what kind of world we live in, is when I see the first trailer for episode 9, I go, oh man. And fast forward to opening night, I go, my buddy, I've seen every Star Wars film with him, with the exception of 3, the originals, because we were kids. 3 and Solo, which also is not that great.
No, it's not.
I look at him halfway through, go, this is worse than I thought. And then when the reveals are like, oh, it's his granddaughter, I go,
Didn't
nope.
give a fuck.
I go,
Didn't give
nope.
a fuck.
And then they bring back Kylo Ren after she kills him. I'm like, nope. And then they're like, well, let's kill Chewbacca off. That's a ballsy move. That's crazy. I'm like, okay, I love Chewie. We all love Chewie, but they kill him. Okay, cool. Nope, he's alive.
I literally watched that movie and said, I realized about 30 minutes into it, I'm like, I don't even care.
I walked out.
It wasn't that it was bad. It wasn't that it was good. I found that my reaction to it actually was just indifference.
Hated it.
Like,
Second worst. Second worst of the whole series. Second worst. At the very end, I walked. I go, "Fuck you" to the screen, and 20 people laughed because that's how bad it was.
Here's the thing about 1 through 3. You got a Clone Wars trilogy with no fucking Clone War.
You're doing 3. They fight off in 3.
No, they don't. What ended up happening was by the time I think that 1 through 3 have gotten better over time, but only because of those series that Favreau and Filoni did. It fleshed out shit a lot. But if I had to watch those 3 movies today without the context of 7 seasons, which actually should have been what the fucking 3 movies should have been about, I still would say they're just fucking dog shit. Now, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not half bad because I remember all this other stuff that's happening in between. The other ones, like, I didn't get it at first with The Force Awakens, and I was just happy to see Han Solo. It was great to see Harrison Ford and Chewie after all these years. And so, you're drawn in by your desire for the series to do well. You don't want to say it sucks. You want it to be a good fucking movie. And so, that sort of feeling can override sometimes. But I remember, and I was like, I'm not really sure what I just saw. And I remember watching it the second time, and I'm like, wow, this is really fucking bad. And The Last Jedi I was like, are you really fucking doing this? I didn't even understand what the hell I was watching. Hold on a second. We got another comment.
The Star Trek.
Oh, Jesus.
So I think I am not a Star Trek fan. I do like a couple of the films. I think I don't understand the love for it. I'm going to go out. I don't give a shit. I'll go to Blaze of Glory in the show. This is my only appearance, one and done. I think those characters are so boring and there's nothing to them. They marvel over, Sulu or whatever. Fucking Spock. They're all so wooden and one-dimensional for me. That being said, I love Star Trek 6. That's the favorite one of all of them for me. And the one with the Borg First Contact was good. Again, I'm not a Trekkie, so don't get all fucking. And 2 is, of course, Wrath of Khan's good. A lot of the other ones are, especially the first one's dog shit. The reboots, the first one was great. I saw that in Geneva. Loved the first one. The second one, and the third one was, that's all. But yeah.
Television series. We all grew up, John and I, we've known each other for decades. So we grew up watching a lot of these shows. What's happened to them? I've lost track a long time ago, but I'm not hearing good things.
No.
About these series and Picard coming back. Now he's like 90.
I was walking in the street yesterday, Central Park South, and I'm 99.5% sure I walked right by Patrick Stewart. I even said, "Hey, Patrick." He didn't turn around. Otherwise, I would have said hello to him. And it's like, holy shit, man, fucking Professor X. Blah, blah.
That would have been cool.
I am 99.5% sure it's Patrick Stewart. I go, that really is him.
He might have been around. He
know he lives in Brooklyn, so it would not.
Oh, does he really?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's
so it
fair
would
enough.
not have been right in Central Park South.
So where are there going to be any war movies? Are there going to be any, the big sci-fi MCU sort of taken, martial arts movies are gone.
Yeah.
Once they came along with the Matrix and the CGI, you proved that Keanu Reeves could be a kung fu master. You know, martial arts. I had somebody on here who wrote a book on martial arts, and you know, he was just it's a dead genre now. I mean, you know, maybe they're making them overseas, but not in the U.S. I haven't seen a war movie since 1917. A Western. And these are the movies like not martial arts so much.
Jane Campion just did a Western that I didn't watch. It was everyone. I forgot the name of it. She just did a Western.
That Power of the Dog thing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't think that was actually a Western. It was just set in some sort of Western setting or something like that. And yeah, so I mean, I think it actually won an Academy Award, but I don't think it was a Western in the sense that you and I would probably think of in terms of being a Western. So. You know, are we just SOL and we're stuck with franchises, or does the wave eventually break? For me, and maybe to some extent for you, you know, if I'm staying home, I'm not spending my money. But who knows? Maybe tons of other people are.
I just looked at the summer list of releases, and I see, besides Thor, one.
Go down the list.
Maybe two.
Is there a short list?
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. Bob's Burgers, don't give a fuck. Never watched the show. Top Gun, yeah, it's a cartoon that's on Fox. Never watched one episode. Top Gun, I'm in. All right, that's why I forgot that. June 3rd, Watcher, never heard. Okay. June 10th, Jurassic Park. Nope.
Know what that is.
Lightyear. Nope. And I love the Toy Story stuff, but I don't need a prequel.
Oh, yeah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Elvis with Tom Hanks and all that. Nope.
Maybe HBO one day.
Yeah, Marcel, the show with shoes on. Nope. The Black Phone. Nope.
Oh, is that the horror movie with Ethan Hawke? That actually might be okay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Minions: The Rise of Gru. Nope. No. Thor on July 8th. Yep. Where the Crawdads Sing. Nope. I heard about the book. I never read it. Paws of Fury. No, never. Whatever. Bed Rest. And that's a ghost story. Next one is Jordan Peele's new one. Nope. It's called Nope. I don't know.
Maybe.
Us was boring. I like Get Out a lot.
I like Get Out. I didn't see Us, but this is about aliens, so I might give it a shot. And if you're going to see a big sci-fi movie, you should see it on the screen.
DC Leagues of Super Pets, where Batman, Superman, and other DC heroes have pets. Yeah. Vengeance.
Really? This is depressing.
Yeah, Vengeance with B.J. Novak directs a thriller about a New York journalist who travels south to investigate the mysterious death of his girlfriend. Been there, done that. Bullet Train's the other one. It's based on a Japanese novel. Brad Pitt is an assassin who retired
I saw the
on a
trailer.
bullet train. Yeah, I could see that. Easter Sunday, which is the Broken Lizard Guys with Joe Coy. Pass. Bodies, a satirical slasher, follows a group of friends at house party, play a murder mystery game. I don't know.
Oh, here's another one that's coming out. I haven't heard it on your list. Maybe it wasn't on there or you went past it and I didn't notice. New fucking Cronenberg movie. That I'm going to see. Cronenberg's got a new movie with Viggo Mortensen, Kristen Stewart. Yeah, that I'm going to fucking suppose. He's going back to body horror, his old fucking niche.
Maybe it's independent, or maybe it's past summer because I only have up till I'm only on.
No, August. It's I think it's June 3rd. It's June 3rd.
Oh, so it's next. What I see here is Watcher. Micah Monroe stars as a thriller as a young actress who moves to Bucharest, becomes suspicious. Yeah, this is directed by Chloe Okuno. No, know who that is. Anything else? Bullet Train, Easter Sunday.
Yeah, all right. So that basically, I'm going to the movies maybe twice this summer.
Which that's a huge indictment because summer. This is it. This is the time that you're seeing like 6 films in a summer, probably 5, 6.
Yep.
You know, I'm seeing
especially the year coming off of lockdowns. You know, you figure people want to get out of the house. They want to go to the movies. I mean, even at these prices, especially at these prices, you better put out something fucking decent to convince people to open up their wallets.
See, I'm shocked.
I've got maybe 2 movies.
I'm shocked that Cruise doesn't want to capitalize on this shitty ass slate of films. He could put Mission Impossible out fucking end of August, 3 months after, Maverick's done, because that'll go on streaming 45 days later now. And he could clean up. He could own summer by putting Mission Impossible 7 out there. I don't get that. I do not get that one bit.
He's been around for 40 years, man. He's not on the same timeline that you and I are on. He can wait. He can take next summer.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
He can take next summer. He can take Christmas. You know, I mean, as long as he's not lined up against an MCU movie, he's probably going to be fine.
The way the MCU films have been going of late, it doesn't even fucking matter. It doesn't.
Who knows? I mean, Strange. I mean, low. I guess low. You're right. The bar has been reset to some extent because Strange is probably going to come in just under $1 billion, but that's considered not to be that great nowadays.
No, that's good for that. I mean, Avengers, there's only a few films over $1 billion. To just be under that is pretty fucking successful.
Here we go. Crimes of the Future is the Cronenberg flick. Yeah, June 3rd. That I'm going to fucking see. That and there was one other on there, and I can't remember what it was.
The Bullet Train?
No, no, you were the Bullet Train. I might go see Nope.
Yeah, I'll see.
That's a sci-fi alien movie. I've seen the trailers because I went to see The Northman, and they were playing it, and it looks impressive, like a big visual kind of flick. So that I'll go see on the screen.
See.
Westerns, war movies, big sci-fi. That deserves a big screening.
Sure.
But not Thor.
And Jackass. Don't forget that. That's always
I did see that this year. Okay,
so
I did see that this year. Yeah.
Loved it. By the way, Jackass 4.5 out tomorrow on Netflix. Tomorrow on Netflix.
Oh, is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's a fucking perk because I don't use Netflix for any fucking thing nowadays. They just get my $15 and I never fucking watch it. I got it set up for somebody else who has a profile and I just keep it for them, but I never fucking use it. Okay, that's good to know.
You ready for this? I still get the DVDs because
I didn't know they still did that.
Yeah, they do because their library is much better.
I'm sure.
It's insane. They have virtually everything. There's like, I don't know, 1 to 3% of stuff I can't find. But it's like this is great. I don't give a shit. People are
How long does it take? How long does it take to get to you?
2-3 days.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. and they keep taking stuff off. So it's like if you don't catch it, you're fucked. But again, what do I? Let's do an unboxing, shall we?
I
want to see what I got.
You saw it here first, everybody. Right here on American
Kevin Goatee's getting a sacred cow. He's gonna watch The Drop. Is the next one I have, and I think who's in that? Ex-cop Bob Saganowski resolves to start a new life away from crime, but his bartending job at a local tavern pulls him back toward trouble when the load of cash that gangsters are laundering through the bar mysteriously disappears. I think this might have been the last film Gandolfini did. For some reason, that stands out.
This sounds like a video fucking rental. That sounds like a blockbuster.
Oh, here you go. Ready? The other one, Infernal Affairs, the one that everyone says that The Departed stole from. Never saw.
Oh, really?
That.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Never saw. What the hell? And what is this?
Well, you've got this to look
Dexter season 2. So there you go.
Okay. Well, you've got this to look forward to now. All right. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, that's where we're at. Things
sad
are
state of affairs. Sad state of affairs for film.
It doesn't seem to be slowing down. It'll probably, it's one of those things where you can maybe just throw some sand at it until the fucking people just decide to stay home. But who knows? They're making a lot of fucking money on these things, and I think it just becomes content for content's sake. And then they're always the people whose favorite thing is the next thing.
But now, are you suffering through Marvel fatigue or even Star Wars fatigue with all this stuff?
Oh yeah, I haven't watched the Marvel movies since Endgame. I didn't watch Black Widow. I didn't watch the Eternals. Like I've got to that point.
I didn't see either of those. What was that?
I got to the hold on. I've got to this point where I can just look at something and I can be like with 90% accuracy, like, no, I'm not fucking watching that and be right.
Yeah.
At least for me.
Yeah.
And so no Eternals, no Black Widow, no. What I've seen, some of the series sucked. And so I'm done with them. I'm going to give Kenobi one last chance. And if they get that wrong, then I'm done with Star Wars. In which case, I'm just going to get a lot of reading done this summer. So
I didn't catch it. I didn't watch Moon Knight. I did watch Hawkeye, which I don't know why I did.
It was fucking awful.
The WandaVision was good. I dug that, but then
I hated it.
Did you? I
thought it was pretentious. I don't. I watched Leave It to Beaver growing up. I don't want to watch it now at this age.
Well, it gets. Did you watch the whole? Did you bag out or did you stay through the whole thing?
No, I watched the whole thing, and then I hated Hawkeye. I hated what they did to Vincent D'Onofrio. I got through 3 episodes of Moon Knight, and Moon Knight wasn't fucking in it.
Didn't watch one episode. Is it worth it? Sounds
no,
like it's not.
No, because Moon Knight's not in it. He's literally, I think, over 6 episodes. I think he's in for a total of like 25 minutes.
Yuck.
I had no idea what his powers were.
Yeah, didn't watch it.
Anything, yeah. So, yeah, I'm just done.
There's what else was out there? Oh yeah, and of course, Mandalorian was great, and then fucking Boba Fett sucked a big old donkey dick.
I didn't watch that either.
It got good for a few minutes. You know why? Because they brought the Mandalorian into the Boba Fett shit.
I heard that the best episodes were the ones that Boba Fett wasn't in.
Well, when the Mandalorian was in, you're like, oh, all right then. This is
okay.
This is going to hold things over nicely then.
So I missed that. I'll give that one more shot. But yeah, I'm just kind of done. And so I'm looking for the smaller things. This is predominantly a horror podcast anyway. So horror has its own fucking albatross around its neck with the 47 Halloweens and all that shit. But, just the way that things are going nowadays.
Well, the first Halloween, not reboot. They rebooted, I guess, versus compared to a sequel. I like the first Halloween. Halloween Kills was a fucking atrocious, egregious piece of shit.
Yeah. The first one was meh.
I liked it. I really
it was okay up until it got to the part with that doctor. And you're like, what?
Oh, when the doctor turned on him?
Yeah, and you're like, what? Like, what the fuck just happened? So, fuck that too. So, the new Scream could give a fuck.
I liked it. Again, I'm in the, listen, I know minority. I like Scream 3. I think Scream 3 is shit on for reasons unknown to me. I think 2 is the worst. I like 4. 4 sucked. 5 is good. I like 5. I like 5. I liked it. Listen, is it as good as 1? No. Or 3? No. But
well, that's why they make these ones, because the original ones are strong, and then it just that's the formula.
Yeah, I mean, if we all could see, and that, but I will say the one scene where Arquette gets killed, I'm like, oh come, like I forgot something. He's dead. He's gonna go back down.
I don't think I actually made it past the third one, and that was when the third one first came out. And then I'm like, I'm not watching part 4. Like I'm not doing this. Yeah, I'm not doing it. Like I'm just, so
yeah. Well, yeah. So movies not in the best state of affairs. Sometimes they again, the new Bond that pulls you like, oh, good. Your face restored for a hot few seconds, but it's been
they're few and far between. And
I tell you know how I base it on how many Blu-rays I buy, or digital downloads do I buy year over year, and I have an Amazon wish list, and it's just like, ooh, you only got like 1 or 2 films on it this year for your birthday or Christmas, whatever. I'm like, yeah, there's nothing out that I want to own.
They're few and far between. A lot of them are retro where I'm catching up because like when I came back to the States, I lost some movies in the transition. They just didn't make it over here or whatever. So I'm catching up on that, but very few new things.
Stinks. And
I'm a physical media guy. I don't do the digital libraries. They're too fickle.
I do both. I keep them in case some shit were to happen. I had them, if the internet were to go out, I go, oh, good. Now I can go put my copy on of G.I. Joe, the movie. I have the VHS, for Christ's sake.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's still a perfect gem. I loved it. But, here's one I was very disappointed with. This is a few years older, but I love the book so much. It's one of my favorite books of all time. That's Ready Player One. Boy, that movie was a fucking turd.
I didn't see it.
Did you read the book?
No.
The book's one of the best books you ever read. You're a major.
Who wrote it?
No one, but a nobody. But
okay.
but here's the plot. It's about a guy. It's in the future, and they designed this kind of Matrix world where people plug in and do shit. But the guys who created it were all these like super fans of 80s movies and video games, and the guy who created it dies, and he goes, whoever solves all my riddles and does all this shit gets my fortune. He's like a Bill Gates type of guy. So these people go through the virtual reality worlds trying to recreate scenes from 80s movies and play 80s video games. It's fucking good. The book's great. The movie was and Spielberg did it. And Spielberg it the fuck up. Sugarfied it is my point.
I haven't seen a Spielberg movie in a while. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's a franchise that's actually he backed out. I take it back. Indiana Jones 5. Ugh. 4.
James Mangold is directing it, but I don't think that's going to help. Harrison Ford is like 75 years old. 80. Stop. Fucking stop.
I mean,
it's like watching De Niro in that last Mafia movie that Scorsese did.
Oh, you mean where he curb stomped him, and it was like he was curb stomping him while standing in molasses?
Because he can't lift his leg anymore, and it's not his fault, but it's just like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you?
The story, forget that scene, but the story dragged super
Yeah,
fucking
it's like
hard.
3.5 hours, man.
I don't mind if it's long. JFK is one of my favorite films. It's over 3 hours. I love it. Pulp Fiction is 2 hours and 40 minutes. I love it. Endgame is almost 3 hours. I think it's great. As long as the shit flows, I don't care. They don't flow. That's my problem. John Alvarez, you're right. It's a great book. Meh film.
Okay.
Completely agree. That's that.
Well, we've I think we're in consensus that we're living in mediocre times in terms of film. It's few and far between, and hopefully we'll get through it.
Who would have thought that TV's kicking the medium of film's ass anytime soon? I would have made that bet 10 times over that we'd never see that day, but here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, eventually every wave breaks, but I think people are going to have to start. The only way I see this ending is if people just start staying home, because they've ruined a lot of the franchises. I mean, I don't mind a franchise if you make a good fucking movie, like you said with Mission Impossible. If you're making kick-ass movies, make a fucking 1,000 of them. I'll go. Not a big deal. But if you just keep diluting it and people just keep going, and I've talked to people, they're like, yeah, I know, but I'm going to go anyway, because I'm like, okay,
you're a completist. We get it.
Yeah. You're a normie. I get it. No big deal. You're still my friend. It's cool. But I mean, the only way that this is going to end is if people just, close their wallets and go, fuck this, I'm not going.
But here's the thing. You say stay home. Now stay home doesn't mean I'm shunning it. It means I don't want to pay $15 to see it.
Yeah.
No, they're going to watch it at home. Like I had a buddy the other day. He goes,
was he lying?
Yeah. He goes, dude, I didn't see the new Jackass. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, we've seen them, all three of them in the theater together. He goes, I didn't want to get to it. I go, what? See, so now they could say, well, 45 days later, like The Matrix, I was going to go see The Matrix, the new one, in the theater because I had to, but then I got COVID, so I didn't go and watch it at home. I go, thank God I didn't pay $15 to see this.
I would have been mad. Yeah, I would have been mad.
Oh, it was so bad and so mad. Well, listen, the first Matrix is groundbreaking. I still love it. One of my top 10 favorite films. The sequels are fucking terrible. They are war crimes against the Hague terrible sands, except for a few scenes that are solid.
They're not that bad. It's just you can't measure them up against the fucking
I don't
first
try
one.
to.
If they stand alone, then they're not bad action movies. They're not bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, those were the movies that, along with the MCU, that sort of fucking got rid of martial arts films. You don't see any martial arts films anymore because Chris Evans can, fucking do everything, and whoever else, that kind of thing.
Wesley Snipes went to jail, and now he's too old.
Yeah, that too.
Word. All right.
So, brother. I don't know, man. Maybe this is as good a place as any to bring things to a close. Was there any other franchises you wanted to talk about? Anything else you think we missed, or do you think we basically covered it all?
We covered it all. I'll give you one more. I don't want to say a franchise. I'll say a company. You know what? Who had a pristine sterling reputation until about 4 years ago?
Tell me.
Pixar. Pixar has gone downhill.
Oh, I haven't watched a Pixar movie in ages. Oh God.
Yeah, okay. Pixar's not made. They're doing a lot of the direct Disney stuff. Like I thought, Raya the Magic Dragon sucked. I hated that. I hated. God damn it! I didn't see the Simply Red one. My daughter watched that. I didn't get a chance to watch. Luca was bad. Soul was very good. That I dug that. But there are a lot of clunkers. And what was the other one with fucking? Oh, Encanto. My daughter loves it. I hated it. Coco. Toy Story, Incredibles, Ratatouille, Inside Out's pretty good. They've dropped off hard, and they're also they're putting a lot of the woke shit in there too. Yeah. Where you're just like,
that's a whole other conversation. That's what's happening in Marvel.
And I was just gonna say Marvel, Doctor Strange too. You see, oh come on.
It was. I heard it. I didn't go, but I heard it was basically Wanda. Like he gets cucked in the first 5 minutes.
Not even that. Not even there's other stuff. I don't feel like getting into it now, but there's other shit. You're like, oh come on, like one scene. So, what's her face? What's her face?
Just one thing
is oh god, what's her name? The chick with the moles on her face. Everyone loves her. I think she's not that hot, but everyone thinks Rachel McAdams. She's back in this one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She gets married to.
Right. But it's funny, like they get married, and it's like they show the wedding guests in the church. Dude, it is a check the box for everybody.
Yeah. Diversity.
It's like
it's a diversity.
Come on, and it's just like, and then they say other shit too, right? Just like hitting you over the head with a fucking mallet. You're like, no, Stop it.
This is all from that 2014 Marvel, all new, all different. They started moving down this sort of line with the diversity sort of thing. That's why we were talking about it today, and this chat I was having. Comic book sales in terms of units are just way fucking down. It's
I don't know who said it, but it's like get woke, grow broke. It's and Netflix ate shit because all the stuff they were doing too. When are they going to learn? People don't need to get fucking bashed in the head with values. They just want to relax and turn that shit off for a while and just hang out and laugh or be amazed or be scared or whatever emotions that you're trying to evoke.
Here's the ironic thing, though. You've got these multi-billion-dollar franchises, and all of the people that are, you would think after like $11 billion, Star Wars would know to do something other than another Skywalker trilogy. But they've got these people that all the wrong people seem to be in charge because they're just making this safe cookie cutter kind of content. And you're like, how are you, the same with Marvel, after, Infinity War for me, I guess Endgame for you, it's become this bleh, and you're like, what the hell is this?
I didn't watch Eternals because I heard it sucked, and I didn't watch Black Widow because it sucked. And you're right. It's just like,
it was 2 years too late also. That was COVID's fault. That was,
but I was going to see it anyway. I just don't give a shit about Black Widow's character that much. She's an ancillary character for me. She's not driving the train. Stark's driving the train. Rogers is driving the train. Other people are driving the train. She's fine. She's good. I don't dislike her, but I don't. She doesn't. We don't need a whole thing about her. Like Loki. Do we need a Loki show on Disney? Didn't watch that either. Nope.
Yeah, where I heard he gets beat up the entire series. I mean,
never watched it. You tell me.
Hemsworth is coming back to play Thor for the 8th time. He's 1,500 years old and he's still trying to figure himself out. I'm not giving you $20 for that. I'm not doing that.
Well, you know what it is. Here, I guess I'm going to fall guilty under your other thing. The first Thor was not good. The second Thor is probably one of the worst Marvel. You can argue with other ones. Easily bottom 3 Marvel. But goddamn, Ragnarok, when they brought in Taika Waititi to bring that, that film was fucking great. I'm like, all right. So this is like Fast 5 for me. The last one was so good. I'm like, all right.
See, I'm going to disagree with you slightly because I like Branagh's. I like Branagh's Thor. It was serious. It was droll. It was serious, but it was fucking good. And if you look at the dialogue with some of those scenes, I mean, you could tell like somebody who gave a shit. About serious mythology was fucking writing it. Taika Waititi, he gave it a new look. It was, comic and it was fun. I don't know that I want the entire thing to go that way, but that's where we are. But yeah, I'm not.
I hear you. All right. Good shit, man. Listen, take a listen to some of those episodes. We talked about a bunch of films. And we did. People came on our podcast to say those films suck, and here's why. Do we agree with them? Do we disagree with them? GuttingTheSacredCow.com at GTSC Podcast. We're on YouTube. We're in the metaverse now too. Go to the Joke Community Comedy Room. We're there, and every week we put out new episodes. So subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, like us there, and hell, go to the merch shop over at GuttingTheSacredCow.com. Buy a fucking coffee mug, shirt, bag, hat, whatever. We're there.
It sounds like you got it all covered there.
I'm trying. Believe me.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that other people are out there making this content and having these conversations and, this, thing where people are just doing it themselves. That's the best possible way. There's hope for the future in that. That's a good thing.
Thank you.
So, yeah, thanks for stopping by. This show, thanks to John and Eric in the comments. This show will be back next week when we start tackling our Godzilla franchise. And we're going to be looking at the original from 1954, and we're not inviting you. So don't worry about it.
I'm in Tampa anyway. I couldn't make it.
Good. And then the day after that, I think I've got an interview coming up, but that's to be determined. So my thanks to the Gutting the Sacred Cow podcast for stopping in and offering some insight, even though he's wrong on most of that stuff. No, I'm just kidding. And all the best, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
You as well. Thank you for having me. Take care.
Take care.